who is celebrating a birthday this month. Why, maybe one of you has a birthday this month. Hello everyone, I'm Kathleen Pelly. Welcome to Journey with Story. A very important announcement today. Are you ready? Gather round everyone. Today marks a very important milestone for all of us here at Journey with Story podcast, because today is our birthday, our third birthday. Happy birthday to Journey with Story, and a huge thanks to all of you, our marvellous listeners, for your support and encouragement. Thanks to you, we now have over 1 million downloads. Yes, you heard me correctly. Over 1 million downloads. Thanks to you, we have also been ranked in the top 20 podcasts in education in the United States and in the UK. And thanks to you, we have an outreach into more than 180 countries. Over and over again, we receive so many notes and messages and reviews from parents and teachers, reviews such as these. This podcast makes my kids run to their bedroom for story time. That's from KY on iTunes. My daughter Beatrice insists on listening to this podcast every night before bed. I don't mind, I love it too. From Beatrice's mum in Canada, thank you. And we love this podcast so much we cannot choose a favourite. That's from a listener in Great Britain. Please keep sending us your reviews and comments and drawings, because we love to have you with us on our Journey with Story. Now, as part of our birthday celebrations, for this month of October only, we are giving away one free bonus episode to all of our listeners. Just go to visit us at our brand new website, www.journeywithstory.com, and get your bonus story, The Talking Pot, along with its very own colouring sheet. Enjoy. But remember, this offer is only good for the month of October, so don't miss out. And we have even more fun in store for you as part of our birthday shenanigans. Over the next 3 days, we are going to be re-airing our top 3 most popular Journey with Story episodes. Today is our third most popular episode, and it is The Tale of the Lanani Beast. Enjoy, and be sure to tune in tomorrow for our second most popular episode. Let's take a journey with The Tale of the Lanani Beast. There was once a young man who fell madly in love with a beautiful young girl. Every single day he would march over to her house and beg her to marry him. Now, this young girl would not say yes, and she would not say no. Instead, she would say things like, I'm feeling so thirsty for coconut water. How I would love to have some coconut water right now. And at once the young man would jump up and say, "You want coconut water? I will fetch you coconut water right now." Then off he would run to the coconut grove, climb a tree, cut a coconut, bring it back, slice off the top and present it to her. "Here you are, a coconut for you." The next day the young man would arrive at her house again. "Please, will you marry me?" The young girl would not say yes, and she would not say no. "I am feeling so hungry for some fresh fish. How I would love some fresh fish for my supper tonight. You want fresh fish? I'll fetch you fresh fish right now." Then that young man would race to the stream, he would spear some fish, rush back and lay them in front of her. "Here you are. Fresh fish for your supper tonight." Anything at all that girl could think of to ask, that young man would provide. But still, no matter how much he pleaded, she would not agree to marry him. One day he asked her, "Isn't there anything I could bring that would persuade you to marry me? I would bring you anything at all." The girl got a faraway look in her eyes. "Well, now that you mention it, there is one thing, but I'm sure you could never bring it to me. The tail of a Lenani beast. I have heard they are so beautiful, so silky, so rare. Imagine how famous I would be if I owned such a tail." The young man gulped. "The Lenani beasts live deep in the forest. The Lenani beasts crunch up humans for their dinner." "Yes, I know, but any man who brought me the tail of a Lenani beast would be so brave. I would have to marry him." Now the young man was inspired. Now he knew how to win this girl. All he had to do was get the tail off a Lenani beast, and she would be his at last. He would go at once, he decided. So that young man sharpened his knife and set off into the forest in search of the Lenani beasts. Now, the Lenani beasts lived in a grove deep, deep, deep into the forest. All day long they slept, but at dusk the Lenani beasts woke up, and then they went a-hunting for bones to crunch, preferably human bones. Now, here is a secret about the Lenanis that no one knows. The Lenanis had learned that humans coveted their tails. So, to keep humans from sneaking up on them, the Lenani had developed a strange sleeping habit. While the Lenani slept, they would keep opening and closing their eyes, but they would really actually be sound asleep all the while, even when their eyes were wide open. And that's not all. While they slept, they would mutter under their breaths. When their eyes were closed, they would mutter, "I'm asleep." When their eyes were open, they would mutter, "I'm awake, I'm asleep, I'm awake, I'm asleep, I'm awake, I'm asleep, I'm awake." But really, they were sleeping soundly all the time. When the young man reached the grove of the Lenani beasts, he saw them lying in mounds all over the ground. They seemed at first glance to be asleep, but when he ventured closer, he saw they were opening their eyes every few minutes and muttering, "I'm asleep, I'm awake, I'm asleep, I'm awake, I'm asleep, I'm awake." They only sleep for a few seconds at a time, the young man thought. How can I sneak in and cut off a Lenani tail? He sat down to watch them for a while. He watched them for a long while, and he noticed when the Lenani opened their eyes, they never looked around. He noticed that when the Lenani said, "I'm awake," they kept right on breathing deeply as if in sleep. "I think these Lenani are really sleeping the whole time," he thought. "I don't believe they wake up when they open their eyes." He had to have that tail. So he took the wrist and slowly, he tiptoes over to the sleeping Lenani. He stepped over the first Lenani. "I'm asleep, I'm awake, I'm asleep, I'm awake, I'm asleep, I'm awake." The Lenani did not move. "Aha," thought the young man, "I was right. They are all sound asleep." Now the young man tiptoes through the sleeping Lenani looking for the most beautiful tail. There, he spotted it, the tail of the chief Lenani. Long, sleek, silky. That was the tail for his true love. The young man pulled out his knife, and that knife was so sharp, with one quick slash, he cut that tail right off. It was so quick, and the Lenani was sleeping so deeply that it didn't even wake up. "I'm asleep, I'm awake, I'm asleep, I'm awake, I'm asleep. Ouch! I'm awake, I'm asleep, I'm awake." The young man tiptoed out of the pile of sleeping beasts. He began to run back through the forest with the tail. "Now she will marry me," he said. "Tonight she will be mine." But he still had a long way to travel to reach his village. Night began to fall. Back at the grove, the Lenani began to wake up. "Wake up, Lenani, wake up. Time to go out and crunch some bones." The Lenani began to stretch and get up. The Lenani beast laying next to the chief sat up, and he put his hand on the ground and he felt something wet and sticky. It was blood from the chief's tail, but "What is this?" He began to laugh. "The chief has wet his bed, the chief has wet his bed." The chief sat up and scowled. What? He put his hands down on the ground. What? It is blood. My tail. Someone has cut off my tail. Only a human would do such a thing like this. Whoever this man is, today he becomes my enemy. The Lenani began to snuffle around the grove, and soon they discovered a trail of blood leading into the forest. I go to fetch my tail and our supper, said the chief. He picked up a handful of straw grass and tied it into a magic knot. Holding the knot in front of him, he began to chant, You who became my enemy today, you who became my enemy today, no matter where you go, no matter where you hide, I will find you. Speak to me. And the magic knot of grass drew that young man's voice running down the forest path. And the young man felt himself suddenly answering. I, his voice burst out. He could not stop it. I who became your enemy today, I who became your enemy today, I cut your tail. The magic knot made him say that. The young man began to call out, I didn't mean to do it, I didn't mean to do it. The woman made me do it. The Lenani stomped down the path after that young man, and the young man ran. Every little while the Lenani would stop and call again. You who became my enemy today, you who became my enemy today, no matter where you go, no matter where you hide, I will find you. Speak to me. And the young man would be forced to stop and call back, I who became your enemy today, I who became your enemy today, I cut your tail. Oh, but I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. The woman made me do it. The young man reached his village and he ran to that girl's house. Here is your Lenani tail. Now will you marry me? She was impressed. The tail of a Lenani. How brave you must be. Of course I will marry you. Then hide me. The Lenani is coming. The young girl covered him with her mats. He was completely out of sight. The Lenani entered the village. He looked around at all the houses. He is hiding in one of these huts, he said. He who became my enemy today, he who became my enemy today, no matter where you go, no matter where you hide, I will find you. Speak to me. Under the mats, the young man felt his voice coming out of him. I who became your enemy today, I who became your enemy today, I cut your tail. Oh no, I didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean to do it. The woman made me do it. The Lenani followed the sound of that voice. He pushed into that house, and there sat the girl holding his tail. He didn't see the young man anywhere. You who became my enemy today, you who became my enemy today, no matter where you go, no matter where you hide, I will find you. Speak to me. Under the mats, the young man hid both hands over his mouth, but it was no use. Still, his voice came out. I will become your enemy today. I will become your enemy today. I'll cut your tail, Lord. He leapt to his feet and he begged the Lenani. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. The woman made me do it. The Lenani stared at that girl. The woman made you do it? And he snatched his tail back from the girl and he turned to that young man. But the man is in charge of his own actions. He snatched that young man up and he threw him over his back and he marched out of that house, out of the village and into the forest. And that young man was never seen again. Now, in that village, they tell the young girls, if you love a young man, do not ask impossible things. Do not do that. And to the young men they say, if you love a young woman, no matter what she says, no matter what she asks, remember that the man is responsible for his own actions. Don't forget, if you want to enjoy a special bonus story, The Talking Pot, to celebrate Journey with Stories' 3rd birthday, just go visit our new website at www.journeywithstory.com and you'll be able to get it there along with a free colouring sheet. But hurry, this is just a special offer only for the month of October. Here's to stories aplenty that fill our hearts with grace and goodness, hope and light. Join me next time for Journey with Story. Music and post-production was by Colette Jonas.